It's a beautiful hot summer day. I'm in my happy place, watching my garden grow, admiring my seedlings. A few of them are coming up. That's nice to see. I love this place. I really do. I love my house. I love my yard. But the fact is, it's 115 years old. And it's been tying me to a place that I've never really belonged. It was a good place to live because I am a prairie girl. But like everything in life, if you want to see change, you have to make it happen. So yesterday I put up my house up for sale. Yeah, apparently the market is awesome. And funny enough, when I started walking around, there's nothing for sale. I've had my house on the market a couple of times in the last 10 years, and each time, every third house was for sale. It was a nightmare. And I withdrew each time. But apparently it's the time. Apparently lots of people are breaking up, is the word I'm hearing. There are shuffles happening everywhere. Couples you would have never thought would ever part. 3 months in confinement, or relative confinement, changed it all. And I think in a lot of ways, this shakeup exposed a lot of truths for all sorts of people, which is why they're not focused on their freedom. They're focused on hanging on to whatever they can of their lives. I can tell you, the sirens here at night do not stop. For 2 Saturdays in a row, it has started around midnight and gone straight through the night. Sirens. Walking through downtown in the last 3-4 weeks and talking to women who also walk like I do, it's not good. People that should be in care aren't in care. And there's a shakeup for sure that is not really being discussed on the local level, that's for sure. It's brought out the worst in many, hasn't it? It has. And exposed true characters. And I'm happy for that shakeout. I've been shaking it out for a long time, but there were a few posers hanging on, and those are effectively gone. And now I have to, look at my own journey, because what I'd planned in January, diving into Agenda 2030, was sort of the education and trying to save us from all of this. Not realizing at that time when I planned to do that, that of course the plandemic was going to take care of all of that and just shift us into gear. And now that we're here, Martine needs a new plan. And I have to make a living. I mean, that's just how it goes. And I took a week off. My parents came out, which was awesome. We ate for 4 days and made food and talked a lot about, for me, I talked a lot about how thankful I was, and my mom too, of the fact that we've lived on this earth and enjoyed as much as we have. My mom is a traveler, my mom and dad, and they're pretty aware of how fortunate we are in the West. We are. I became very aware of how fortunate we were when I became a real avid traveler in my 20s. And as a Canadian, we could go anywhere we wanted. Anywhere. Just get on the plane and go. Not Brazil. Needed a visa for there for some reason. But pretty much everywhere, it was just go. Yet, when I lived in Ecuador and in places in South America and Central, I realized that that wasn't a luxury that was afforded to many other people in the world. I lived next door to the Spanish embassy in Quito 10 years ago. God, yeah, 10 years ago. And I would see people lined up there 6 a.m. every single day trying to get a visa to go to Spain. It was wild. And we're entering a time when things are not going to be the same. And the plans that we made have kind of been blown to hell. And I'm one of those people that believes that emotions are attached to our health. Again, everything intertwined, part of Mother Nature, natural processes. And to remain in negativity isn't productive at all. And that's what I see out there. The continual bombardment of a psychological attack against humanity to inspire fear and hatred and division. The necessity for a different system. I've always been one that believes in the system of governing oneself. Our sovereignty, our own sovereignty. And I've never really fit into any of it. So this is not a huge shift for me. It's just a shift in the former reality that surrounded me. And now I'm ready to shift out and move out and figure out what is going to define the next journey. This is a journey, any way you cut it. And one thing I know from over 20 years of dealing in natural health and in promotions and in research is that if there was ever a time to live in your authenticity, it's now. We have no clue what's to come. And if you let their society define you before, well, look how that worked out. It never defined me, and it won't define me in the future. And I found myself sort of reverting to this struggle for our freedom define me, but also define me in a negative manner, and I'm not part of that. The reason I'm healthy is because I rid myself of those toxic energies long ago, and when I see them coming, I'm out. I don't allow that influence in my life, which is why I'm changing my entire format. I'm going to go on Patreon, and I'm looking for the people who understand what's underway here as my people. I'm not looking for everybody. I'm not looking for the big crowd. What I'm looking for are people that are actually genuinely committed to this life as a journey, who see beyond all of this and are looking to plot a way forward that is not, number one, in harmony with your beliefs of the interconnectedness of our earth and everything around us, but also that want to support in a network of, again, free thinkers that understand the absolute need to preserve our humanity, our integrity, but mostly our light, even in the darkest of days. When we sink down and swim with the bottom feeders, well, that's not where I want to be. I want to be looking for places to travel before that vaccination hits. I'll wear my gas mask. I will wear my gas mask to avoid all the insecticides and pesticides and disinfectants in the airport. I'll make a spectacle of their stupidity. I'm going to do what I can do as long as I can do it and find ways around it. Eventually, it might be finding places that aren't going to adhere to it. The game's not over, but by involving ourselves in all of this, honestly, extra noise isn't productive. I think most of us need to disconnect a little bit more, enjoy this summer, enjoy the heat while you can, because here they're taking it away. They have been spraying all morning and afternoon, one after another. Life has changed, even though it's looked similar around. It's not going to be the same. In any case, it's time to realign with reality and where we're at. And use this plandemic as an opportunity to make the changes in your life to see you through what is to come. Surrounding yourself with people that will be supportive of you in this journey. And mostly looking deep within to figure out what it's really all about. Everything's changed. And it's going to be those of us that see this as a journey will be those who carry the light of humanity forward. And hopefully future generations will pick up that light. All we can do is control what we can. And we can start with living in our true authenticity.